Hello and welcome to another edition of the Percussion Instruction Podcast. We previously uploaded part 2, ironically, before part 1. So forgive me for that. I realize that I want to go back over some 8 notes as opposed to just what we were doing in part 2. So if you've already watched part 2, great. If this is your first time, you might want to go back and watch part 2 first. Either way, it'll be beneficial for you. Either way you do it. Just might be a little more helpful if you watch part 2 first. So anyways, what we're going to go over today is more shaker and conga playing independence. And if you notice, I have conga practice pads again here for the wood. Great to practice to control volume because it's not as loud, obviously. But you don't want to substitute this completely for the conga because you have specific notes that you want to practice your notes on the conga itself. So anyways, playing 8 notes as opposed to quarter notes with the shaker. Again, notice I have a minor shaker, and the way I'm holding it is with my 2 front fingers in the front, cradling it with my thumb behind and my ring finger underneath, okay? And that's the way I hold the minor shaker. However you hold any other shaker is all about what's most important or what's most comfortable for you, okay? Knowing that your wrist is the fulcrum, is what we call the fulcrum is basically where everything is pivoting off of. It's rocking off of. That's where we get our snap and our expression for the shaker, okay? And remembering to keep whatever arm you use, keep the rest of the arm loose and relaxed enough so that you can have enough control here in the fulcrum, okay? So anyways, with the shaker and the conga, in the previous episode, what I was doing is I was playing forward at the same time with my right hand playing a note with the conga, okay? Either one. So it's boom, boom, front, front. We also went at the same time in the back, front, back, boom, that. Okay? And we were doing that as an exercise to develop independence while focusing on locking in a shaker pattern and playing different notes and tones with the different drums, different congas, okay? But what we also did is sometimes it's played in the middle, okay? Coming back or on the back side, all right? Front and back. And that it's not always necessary that this arm is doing something completely different than this arm, so much as sometimes it's right at the same time, sometimes in the middle, and sometimes on the back side, okay? Which could be 1 and 2 or 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So anyways, in this, and I'm just trying to give the most practical explanation for those that may be having a hard time with this or developing this still. So we can also do what we'll call 8 notes with my right hand on the conga while playing a shaker pattern with my left hand. So if I'm playing here, as opposed to just one note here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and notice I'm on the front, 1 and 2. I can also play 2 at the same time in the front. Pop, 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 pop. 1 and, 1 and, 1 and, 2 and, 1 and, 2 and, 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4. Just slow it down a little bit. And you know, I said there, I'm doing a couple things in my mind, making sure that I slow down enough and make this practical for you. So in other words, the main difference here is that instead of just playing 1 at the same time, this shaker pattern, I have a kind of like an accent I'm doing there in this particular shaker pattern, okay? I'm playing at first just 1 at a time, and now what I'm doing in this episode is I'm also playing 2 at a time. So it's, okay? Okay, so sometimes you're playing here, and then you might play a quarter note here. So let's just play something and make some variations and improvisations, whatever, while we have a shaker pattern here, right? I might go 1, 2, the quarter note, pop, 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 dot, 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 dot,